only just caught up in drones. He was behind almost that entire time because of that DT harass that he just... I mean, on the one hand, he was trying to micro and control those Baneling drops into the mineral landmines, and into the mineral lines, and that's why he wasn't really able to hold off those DTs quite as well as he should have. But, I mean, definitely we see that Daisy did more damage than viOlet did. Actually, no, man. Whoa, viOlet killed 21 probes here of Daisy. Daisy is just a total boss at never missing a second on probe production.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say is I think the reason the drones are the way they are is because viOlet was just pumping Zerglings. And Zerglings, you know, they're free on the mineral part, but if you make a ton of them, that's definitely a larva investment. That takes away the larva you can spend on drones. And we do see switching the Hydras here because he hasn't scouted any sort of Colossus. But somehow, some like crazy nerd sense out of Daisy here. As soon as the Hydras start, we see the robotics bay go down. So he's going to have Templar... Sorry, go ahead.
He scouted the High Templar, though. And, I mean, wouldn't you know it, a Sonic Storm does 80 damage, and a Hydra has 80 HP. So usually you'll have a 1 HP Hydra left.
Yeah.
Which obviously lasts about 6.289 milliseconds. So
Templar, I mean, Storm, like, isn't as good as Colossus versus Hydras, but it's definitely good. And, I mean, Storm is also amazing against Zerglings. So having both Storm and Colossus, that is a Hydra's worst nightmare. But he's going to go for these Hydra drops, which can be really effective, because Hydra's high DPS. You know, if you drop it in and snipe a Nexus, you can definitely take that Nexus down really quick. Also, viOlet taking this gold base. We are transitioning farther and farther into this game. Look at this. Daisy also taking the gold base. This is going to force a confrontation.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it will, and it's going to be viOlet who's going to instigate it. He's going right into this gold base. He's going to focus it down, and oh my god, it just barely stays alive. Now it does get taken out. Meanwhile, he does have a ton of banelings he can drop here on this army. And you know what? I think violet's in a fantastic position here. The High Templar are finally getting some storms down, doing some damage. But here come the banelings, and the banelings are clearing out the High Templar. Oh my god, that was so beautiful by viOlet. Taking out the High Templar with his banelings, and now the Roaches and the Hydras are coming in here, but we got 2 more High Templar. They've got enough energy for 2 storms each, and this might straight up equalize this confrontation.
Yeah, I mean, these High Templar might help. It looks like, actually, viOlet is just going to push through. If Daisy had all of his High Templar in the same place at the same time and gotten a couple more storms off, I think he would have been able to clear that up. But he had just lost too many units by the time his reinforcing Templar got there, and because of that, loses the gold base. He is going to clear up the army, but, you know, a couple minutes ago I just said the Protoss was in a pretty commanding position. Right now, though, viOlet is turning the tide.
Oh, man, and not even, like, by a tiny bit, man. This is by leaps and bounds. The Colossus are finally coming out. These DTs here are going to put a little hiccup in viOlet's advance. He's going to have to grab an Overseer, and it's already on its way. Pneumatized Carapace has been researched, so, of course, he does have... That means that the Overseers do move a tiny bit quicker, and he's going to be able to hunt down these DTs, hopefully. Though it looks like they are on a mission here, Bonk. They are going to try to do as much damage as they can before they forfeit their lives.
I mean, they're not only damage dealers at this point, they're also a total delay tactic. He knows he is not ready to deal with this army. He needs the Zerg to pull back so he can get his Colossus count up, and that's actually exactly what he's going to get here, at least momentarily. I mean, every second right now Daisy can delay is a second he's on 3 bases pumping Colossus. If he can get to that max death ball of Colossus, Templar, Blink Stalker, it's super hard to deal with, but I don't know if viOlet's going to give him that chance.
Well, one of the best ways to actually deal with that death ball is Baneling drops. They are so good. I mean, people call it a death ball because, yeah, it is a condensed small ball, which takes tons and tons of splash damage. So here comes viOlet with his Roach Hydra army. He does have Infestors. They don't have Neural Parasite. Huge storms going down there. And, ooh, baits a storm out. That's always fun. I mean, every time I see a storm not hit my army, I'm so happy as a Zerg player. And here he goes for the big hit. He needs to get some nice fungals in there so that the blink does not get as effective. And if he can hit the Colossus as well, he might be able to focus them down.
Oh, absolutely brutal. Fungling, so these Banelings can come in, but he needs to drop them before the fungal wears off. There goes the Baneling drop, and I don't know, man. This is looking bad for a Protoss player. Another blink, but he's now lost all of his Colossus. He gets another warp and a Blink Stalker, so he may just be able to hold here, but Oh man, actually he is just going to be able to hold. Good for our Protoss player. This game will continue.
Yeah, great job there, just barely holding, but at the same time, it's important to note that, you know what, viOlet, he's got the gold base up and running, so his economy is just blazing past Daisy's, so as long as he keeps trading armies, he's actually in the lead here.
Yeah, especially if he gets the Colossus. They're the thing. I mean, he's on one robotics facility. Colossus takes so long to build, even with the Chronoboost, which, by the way, he really needs to get this Chronoboost going. He really also needs to pull all of his Stalkers out of the main, because they are defending nothing at this point. But yeah, an army with only one Colossus is so weak. And here comes another push. This might do it. Great storm, though. I don't know. This is going to be close.
Ooh, the Colossus goes down, and that might be that one last nail in the coffin. These Stalkers here trying to get into that narrow ramp. But you know what? There's a lot of Roaches and Hydras. And Roaches and Hydras aren't like Lings and Mutas, Bonk. They don't just die easy peasy. They are the meat and potatoes of the Zerg army. And we see more and more Roaches, even some Zerglings getting mixed into the army here for viOlet. He's doing so much damage, but he needs to get his entire army up this ramp here, and finally he does do that.
Yeah, that was some great Blink Stalker micro by our Protoss player, but it just wasn't quite enough. I mean, those reinforcing Zerglings are not a good choice, except for the fact that they reinforce so quickly that you just like, you can just stream them in as your main army engages. So it really looks like our Protoss is down for the count, and we do see the good game. What a game, though, man.
Dude, that was fantastic.
Yeah. I love Baneling drops. Well, I hate them as a Protoss player, but I love them as an observer. So hard to deal with.
That was just so beautiful, man. I'm just, like, sitting back in awe right now. I don't even know what to say. Like, just from both sides. I mean, between the, like you said, the DTs there getting used as a delay tactic for DaisyPrime to buy him a bit of time. And you know what? He held that first wave of viOlet's push because of that delay tactic. It just bought him enough time to hold off that push. But of course, viOlet, you know, he is a fantastic player, doesn't miss a beat on his macro. And even though he had 4 bases, one of them a gold base, he never went over 500 minerals.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
I mean, it is beautiful is what it is. Holy
yeah, and he didn't, like, great fungals, great Baneling drops. He didn't miss a beat on anything there. And if he had, I think Daisy would have been able to pull through there. It's just great play out of both players there. Yeah, we're going to see Game 2 here. And I do have a bit more to say about Baneling drops, but you might want to run a commercial first, because when I get to talking, I might not stop.
That is fine, Bonk. That is why we like you here as a caster. Aww. I mean, I don't know how to speak English. I'm a French native, man. I speak French Canadian. I don't even know what English is. So, guys, we are going to go into the game number 2 here of the North America Playhem Daily. Don't go anywhere. Say hi to our sponsors. We're going to be right back.
Oh man, Shakira's Plateau, your favorite map, right?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Protoss must keep picking it because it's not amazing for Protoss, right, Bonk?
Yeah, well, they just, I mean, you know, I can't think of a good response. No, it's good.
And it's like, it's not like I'm being biased either. Like, every time the Zerg player chooses Metalopolis, it's like, okay, Metalopolis, you know.
Good for Zerg.
Good for Zerg.
Yeah, I do want to say Metalopolis comes up twice in the map pool in best of 1s before we get the best of 3s, whereas Shakira's Plateau only comes up once, so, yeah.
So? Doesn't matter, it comes up...
Advantage Zerg. That's why we have so many Zergs.
But it comes up in the best of 3, whereas Metalopolis does not. And you know what? I mean, the most important games are the best of 3 ones, right?
I guess, except for a struggling Protoss trying to make it through the best of 1s and having to hit Metalopolis twice.
Oh, please. Come on. I mean, he should be able to deal with Metalopolis if he's worth getting into the finals.
Oof.
Look at DaisyPrime.
That's true. He dealt with Metalopolis like a champ.
Yeah.
But now, you know, he gets his choice, and we are going to see Shakira's Plateau. We do see DaisyPrime, Niromod, spawning as the Red Protoss in the right-hand corner. His opponent, winner of Game 1 with amazing play, guys. This is the somehow still teamless viOlet, spawning as the Blue Zerg.
Oh, I feel like there's something in the works, man. This guy is way too good to stay teamless for too long.
Yeah, how about it? I can't believe he hasn't been picked up. And, you know, the thing I wanted to say earlier is Baneling drops, they kind of showed up like months and months ago, but then the Infestor buff came, and I feel like Baneling drops, like they were good, but Infestors were so good when they first got buffed that Baneling drops never really got explored as much as they could have. And now that, Infestors have been nerfed and they're not as strong, we see the Zergs slowly starting to go back towards them, and as we can tell, they are a brutal weapon.
I mean, everyone knows metagame is cyclical, and Mutalisks have been the big play lately for Zerg players.
Right.
But as Protoss are, like I was talking about earlier, going for that Twilight Council first metagame play, it's basically shutting down Mutalisks. So all of a sudden, Zergs are like, wait a second, if I'm not actually making Mutalisks, I have a ton of gas. And getting the pneumatized carapace, the ventral sacs upgrades, that eats up quite a bit. And then you can actually go into really fast hive tech, which is actually something we didn't see out of viOlet. But that's like a huge shift here that I'm seeing in the ZVP play from the Zerg standpoint, is just going into like this quick Ling upgrade play. Then into the later, like the quicker hive. And, you get Broodlords, Ultralisks out. And, I mean, Zerg can get a death ball of their own up. It's just a little bit, tougher to get usually because it's so hard to get hive tech.
Yeah, so true. And if you can change the score real quick, I was just asked. What you say about the metagame being cyclical is so very true, especially in this matchup. We just see the builds being rotated back and around in a big circle. And as a Protoss player, it's funny because I have problems with very specific ZVP builds. So when they start to disappear in the metagame, it makes me so happy because I never figured them out. So if they go away, I start doing so much better. And then when they come back, I'm like, oh great, mutas are back. Like the first time mutas made their cycle through the metagame, I never figured them out. I had no idea what to do. And when they left, I was so happy. And now they're coming back, and I just can't wait until they leave again.
Well, they are on their way out, man, and like I said, Twilight Council first.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people are saying, and I think it's good. I just love my robotics play, whether it be Immortals or Warp Prism or Colossus. I love it so much. I just always go towards it, and that's probably my problem as a personal player. But Daisy has no such problems. This guy has, I want to say, patented a very cool 4-gate Zealot pressure timing, which we have seen him do so many times. Wonder if we're going to see it again. It is absolutely devastating to the Zerg. I mean, even though he lost that game, that Zealot pressure canceled the third base, and I don't know, great timing out of him. We've seen it almost every single PvZ. It's going to be interesting to see what he pulls out on Shakira's Plateau, if it's going to be that or if he has another timing in mind.
Yeah, I mean, he has gone for this double assimilator play, and we'll have to see what he does with that first 100 gas. He hasn't started Cybernetics. There it is. So he's actually going to have enough gas to go into a +1 ground weapons and then still get a Warp Gate technology as soon as the Cybernetics core finishes.
Yep.
And at the same time, he did hide a probe up here in the top left base. So I think we're going to see the exact same play, because with a hidden probe, though it's about to get scouted, he might not go for it after all.
Yeah, great game sense by viOlet. Every Zerg could take a lesson here. Look at the rally points of that Zergling before it found the probe. Just Protoss always wants to hide a probe on you guys. Always search for it, whether it be to 4-gate or to 6-gate or to just get a later scout in the game. They're always going to try to hide this probe. So definitely another pro tip for you Zerg players out there: look for this probe. And I was going to ask you, you've seen that 4-gate timing a couple times. As a Zerg player, how would you deal with that?
Honestly, I'm one of those players who just gets a safety Roach Warren every game, no matter what. And I do scout diligently. So basically, just scout, make sure that no proxy pylon goes down, and then you see as soon as he moves out. So, yeah, basically you deal with it by making sure it doesn't happen unless he's moving out across the map. And then since you have a safety Roach Warren, you just make some roaches and you can hold it fairly easily.
Yeah, but the thing we saw, even Presto, he had that safety Roach Warren, he just didn't catch it in quite enough time, and the Zealots
Well,
he
it
was
came down
making
to that
roaches.
proxy pylon, right? That
Right.
went down, so he was able to just completely negate the size of the map, get the Zealots there immediately, and of course that just doesn't give you enough time to make roaches. Now, look at this, man, DaisyPrime. He's going for another great shift in the Protoss versus Zerg metagame. It's this very quick 3 Stargate play, and look at how he spreads them out, because he knows that things like this Overlord are trying to sneak into Scout. So he doesn't want to have all 3 of them scouted. And so he spreads them out a tiny bit, and he should be able to get these out. Now, we see players mostly go for like 2 Phoenixes, or 2 Stargates worth of Phoenixes, and 1 Stargate of Void Rays. And I actually don't like it. I think versus Zerg, you want to start off with a ton of Phoenixes, and you just get the jump on your opponent's Hydralisk count and Queen count. And that way you can just take them out really early and never let them get a critical mass of Hydralisk, where you actually can go in with Hydras, or rather Phoenixes anymore.
Right, so true. And I do want to point out, viOlet's game sense is absolutely amazing. Just by seeing the Stalker instead of a Sentry, he knew it was some sort of Stargate play. Look, he's already getting Spore Crawlers in both of his bases. He does have a 3rd Queen, so he's not, he doesn't expect 3 Stargate, which is sadly what he should expect. Triple Void Ray is actually coming out with
plus 1.
That's dirty. But I do want to give viOlet props, because he said, "Oh, he's trying to deny my Scout. He's probably hiding a Stargate."
Yeah, he's definitely hiding some kind of tech. And, I mean, going for Spire is a great way to deal with whatever tech he's trying to hide, honestly. I mean, if you can get the jump with Mutalisks, like right now we see that Daisy, in goes a Changeling there as well as an Overseer, and it's going to spot just the 1 Stargate. And he only showed 1 Void Ray, so that's actually really sexy by Daisy as well. But if he goes straight into Mutalisks or straight into Corruptors, a lot of this is going to be on how Daisy decides to engage. Because look at this, we've got 13 Mutas on the way. So if he actually tries to engage with these 3 Void Rays and 3 Phoenixes, he could get just completely overrun. And from that point on, Violet's going to have the critical mass of Phoenixes where Mutalisks, where Phoenixes can't actually engage them.
Yeah. So true, but we should remember that these air units actually have +1 attack, which the Mutalisks will not have. Also, Mutas are going to pop out at this base and they're already going to be engaged before the rest of them can come up and meet the army. I don't know, this is going to be really close, Katu.
It definitely will, especially since the Void Rays were actually already charged. That was the hugest difference maker there in that engagement. These Void Rays doing so much damage now that they're charged. And indeed, we see that DaisyPrime here overpowering his opponent, and honestly, there's almost no way that viOlet can come back from this. He lost so many Mutas, man. He's down almost 4,000 resources to Daisy's only 750.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal. This is almost definitely game-ending. He's trying to make Corruptors, but 2 Corruptors Corruptors are good against Phoenixes, but not 2 versus 12.
And Void Rays are great against Corruptors, actually. They do extra damage versus armored units, and of course Corruptors are armored. So up come these 2 Corruptors, the Void Rays will probably go deal with them, the Lairs going down as well, a 3rd base now on the way for viOlet, and there's a full wall off at the front for Daisy. So these Zerglings, I mean, they can try to sneak up and take everything out, but it won't work. viOlet knows that, gonna give the GG.
Yeah, I mean, the absolute worst thing for viOlet was seeing 1 Void Ray and 1 Stargate. It's almost worse than seeing no Stargates, because if you see no Stargates, you still know your opponent's hiding something. But seeing a single Void Ray and a single Stargate, it's like, oh, this is typical Stargate play. I don't need to do anything else. My single Spore Crawler will handle it. And then 30 seconds later, here come 15 Void Rays and 1,000,000 Phoenixes, and you are not prepared.
No, and as a Zerg player, you really do have to prepare properly for whatever Protoss is going to hand towards you. So I think that we're going to see a huge shift into this Baneling drop, and the reason I say that is because we're going to see a lot of players starting to get that pneumatized carapace a lot quicker. Because as PVZ does get mapped out more and more, you're really going to have to know, okay, he's going for exactly this.
Right.
So I have to do exactly this.
So true. And so true. That scouting is so vital.
And we are going into this
ahead,
final game here. I mean, that is all tied up at 1 here for these 2 guys. We are going to go to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We've got the grand finals, the last game, the one that decides it all, coming up next.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Tell them it's the last game.
Easy
Oh,
peasy.
man. This is exciting, and this is... Who's map choice? This is Violet's map choice.
Yeah,
so,
well, it's dual site, so...
yeah.
Even if you're coming
Yeah,
into this
definitely.
blind, I think it's Violet's map choice.
Yeah. This is why I just proxy gate on dual site. Don't tell. Don't tell my opponents.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people probably didn't get the commercial, so they know.
No. They all know. I never proxy gate. What? I just think it's my base and go, oh, wait, this is your base? I'm sorry.
Misclick, misclick.
Misclick. And I'm like, then cancel. I'm like, it's too late now.
Oh, man. So welcome back, everybody. We are in the grand finals here of the Playhem North America Daily. We've got Bonk and myself, Katu, casting all of this great action for you. Oh, my God, Bonk. viOlet and DaisyPrime. These guys have been giving us some of the best games we've seen in a long time. This definitely could be Code A.
Yeah, I mean, guys, look out for both these players showing us amazing games. DaisyPrime with such a unique PvZ style. I love it. I love this matchup so much right now as a commentator. And viOlet, you know, viOlet here spawning, I should do introductions, as the Red Zerg. What a monster. Daisy, Blue Protoss. What a monster. And we do see Forge Fast Expand. I feel like this is, I know I've said this in previous casts, it's a very Korean style, which Naniwa has adopted, to just Forge Fast Expand regardless of what map you're playing on. They've given up on the one-base Protoss.
Every map, all time.
Yes. I mean, like, this... You can't get much worse for a Forge Fast Expand. I guess Zelnaga Caverns is probably worse, but dual site, I mean...
You know what? Maybe not even, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean... All-ins hurt on this map, and you can just make 7 roaches and drone behind it like we saw Leenock do on several maps, and it's almost impossible to deal with as a Protoss. You have to build the extra cannons, you'll probably get a couple buildings sniped, but Korean Protoss just take that risk.
You know, I do love to see on, like, Dual Site or on Zelnaga Caverns is the Kiwikaki Express, as I like to call it, which is where you go for the Forge Fast Expand into 2-gate.
Yeah,
and, like, that was the original early Zealot pressure, where you push out, kill off the third, and maybe even do some damage to the natural.
Yeah,
And,
it's sexy.
yeah, and the reason you want to do it on these maps that have wide-open naturals is because you want to hide your cybernetics core somewhere where it's not vulnerable, because it's just way too important a building to have sniped by some annoying roaches that are out of range.
Yeah, that's so very true. I mean, the 2-gate does give you less sentries to deal with the roach all-in, so that can be painful, but... As a whole, I definitely agree with you. And, you know, even before tonight, I've been thinking a lot about why exactly Koreans choose the Forge Fast Expand on every map. I mean, part of it is because, yes, Forge Fast Expand gives you a better economy, gives you more options for various 2-gate timings. But I think a lot of it is the difference between a Forge Fast Expand ZVP and a one-base ZVP is so vastly different that it's almost like learning 2 separate matchups to do 1-gate Protoss versus Forge Fast Expand Protoss. And when you're trying to train, you already have so many different matchups to learn and so many different things to learn. It just eliminates the possibilities if you just say, screw it, Forge Fast Expand is my build, I'll deal with all the trouble that gets me into with all-ins, just so I have less specific things to learn.
Oh, that was so close. Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. And there we see that the proxy probe there does get found by viOlet. His Zerglings almost ran by because they were actually just a bit too far to decide to attack it on their own. But it was in vision of viOlet. So he spots it, grabs the Zerglings, and make them attack. That's beautiful. And, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right, Bonk. So
that's my analysis of it. I mean, I've just been thinking about it way too much. I was like, why did Naniwa force it in MLG? I almost cried when Naniwa lost those games.
Dude, I had money on Naniwa. I was
Did you really?
I was like, dude, Naniwa looks so good. Like he was like, his micro was unbelievable. His macro was flawless. And then it just ends up that his overarching strategy failed him.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. I mean, I could talk forever about all the amazing stuff Naniwa did before the finals. That 8-gate 1 Colossus all-in. Oh, I could actually give a lecture on that. But I'm going to stick to this game because I want to point out Daisy did supply block himself pretty heavily there. It's going to delay his first sentry. If he was getting all-in, that would have been trouble town for him because that sentry is so much later than it should be. But you know, he should be okay. He can recover with his Chrono Boost, and I like this. Also like the scout timing from viOlet, although he's not going to see much quite yet.
No, I mean, his Overlord here going to get taken out. He did get the wounded one out of there, but you know what? Tickle flashlights still hurt, man. After a while, you start getting a rash, and then, you know, the rash spreads. It starts getting infected.
Oh, that's the pleasant way to
and
describe.
Zergs, they never found out about insulin, man. Infection kills.
That's true. Although, you know, I feel like they, like, share this massive immune system because they're part of the Overmind, so they, like, learn from each other's diseases.
No. These aren't Independence Day Zergs, you know, where it just, like, channels down through all of all of the ships. These are not Independence Day Zergs, man. They're not immune to that kind of stuff.
Come on, that was a great movie. I don't even want to hear.
No, it was a good
exactly
movie.
Like that.
I love that movie, but Blizzard is not in with the Independence Day Zergs.
Daisy Prime is the Will Smith of Protoss, and that's all I have to say about this right now.
Who's Jeff Goldblum?
That's a good question.
That's what I want to know.
I think it may be us.
Oh, insulin is for diabetics. I meant penicillin. My bad.
Oh,
my bad.
Yeah, I didn't even catch that.
I totally missed that one.
Zergs. Wow. Anyways.
It's okay. Zergs are diabetics. The joke still works.
That's true. Yeah, we're good. You know, we're actually seeing a ton of sentries out of our Protoss player here. And he's going... Okay, this is Blinkstalker. This is one of the most powerful and most standard 2-base timings you can hit. Good sentry count, 6 or 7 gateways depending on your timing, a ton of Blinkstalkers to back up those sentries, and +2 attack. Can't get any more standard as far as 2-gate timings go.
Well, like you said, he's getting a ton of sentries, and I love that, because you know what's good against Blinkstalkers? Zerglings. You know what sucks against force fields? Zerglings. So that's a nice combination of units here coming out from Daisy. And if he can get those money force fields down, man, he could just barrel right through his opponent's force. Because viOlet, he's basically on just a Zergling right now. He's got 6 Infestors on the way, which are definitely going to help. But can he get those money fungals, man? It's all going to be money fungals and money force fields.
The problem is here... our Zerg player is actually going for that Infested Terran timing. He's invested a lot of resources in Missile Attack level 2, which really Infested Terrans aren't going to help too much. He's going to need those money fungals to deal with this. And look at the number of units coming out. Just a couple seconds ago, the Zerg player was doubling in the supply, but now they're almost equal, and here comes the engagement.
Nice first fungal goes down, but beautiful force fields actually mean that a second fungal cannot go down. Now, all of these sentries are almost completely out of energy. There are only 4, actually 3 force fields left here, Bonk.
Yeah.
That is huge. He used so many extra force fields there. And now here comes the next engagement. We've got Infested Terrans going down. I actually don't like that. I would have rather seen some fungals, but these Infested Terrans here are going to do a lot of damage to those Zealots. And you know what? Man, why is Daisy engaging Infested Terrans? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, this was an absolutely brutal engagement. Going back to those force fields, they just... Great placement, but he used way too many, and now he's paying the price. We see his army has dwindled, and here come the drones, though. This could be kind of dangerous. More Infested Terrans with +2 attack, but I don't know. This is getting close.
Well, right now, viOlet is actually floating about 1,000 resources. He just does not have enough larva to actually spend on Zerglings. So that means that this attack here from Daisy Prime might actually work. Now, he's got 24 more Zerglings on the way. Back home, though, we see Daisy is getting a High Templar archives, so he is going to have some new tech here to deal with this army. And you know what? High Templars between Storm and Feedback is going to be so good against Infestor Zergling. Now, more Infested Terrans do go down. Drones getting pulled up. This is such a tense moment right now. We see that viOlet is falling just slightly behind, but these Zerglings here should be able to take out quite a few of these stalkers. On the other side, Infested Terrans they're doing their zombie walk, their thriller walk over towards their opponent. But it looks like viOlet here is going to get taken out in the finals, man.
Yeah, this is absolutely brutal. And at the same time, this is to the point where the All-In has done enough damage that if the Protoss player wants, he can even go back and expand. And we see viOlet looking for that. But that is not viOlet's concern. viOlet is in full survival mode. He throws these Infested Terrans, but oh man, I think Daisy's... Nope, I thought he was going to go for the third. look at how many High Templar are just warped in. Feedbacks are going to be brutal.
Feedbacks and then Archons, man. Archons are fantastic
no.
against infested Terrans and Zerglings alike. We see Violet here trying to engage, but you were absolutely right. I mean, we got 48 probes versus 36 drones, so even if he has to fall back and this attack doesn't work, doesn't matter, because Violet here is in a huge economic hole. I mean, he's looking like the United States right now.
Yeah, very, very well put, my friend. I want to point out, he even feedback the Queen, so no transfusions could come out, and no larva injects. So Violet is stuck with 400 minerals and no larva to spend it on right now. His infestors are completely out of energy. All he's got are a couple of infested Terrans, and man, I'm thinking this game is over.
And Violet, reading your mind, he was like, oh, if Bonk thinks it's over, then it's definitely over.
Oh, man. Great timing. I thought Daisy was dead.
Me too,
I thought
man.
He was dead when that started. It's the thing about Blink Stalkers is if you get that retention of Blink Stalkers down, eventually you just turn the tide. It doesn't matter. You just get too many Blink Stalkers and you just roll. And even without the force fields that normally you would really want, I don't know. It was
you're
rough.
absolutely right. That's the whole point of